I haven't played Valorant in a while, and I came back to the game seeing that there was a new agent last season, and I thought, oh, you know what, perfect time to hop back in. And then I saw this.
It can never be simple, can it, Riot?
Well, Valorant community, congratulations. You finally became an actual real Riot Games game because they finally ran out of ideas for agents that make sense in a tactical game like Valorant. Now they're just adding in random stuff that just fills out the game. Now, I know that sounds like a diss, but I'm not actually dissing Riot or Valorant. I actually like whenever they get to this weird part of their games, whenever they're just adding in random stuff like Deadlock and Gecko, and even Harbor. Even though people are like, these are trash agents, yeah, they put in all the good agents in the beginning, so you actually started playing the game. Now they're just adding in random stuff to make the game fun. So you all better enjoy this time whenever Riot and Valorant are actually putting out fun agents, because sooner or later they're gonna start putting in the 200 years of experience agents, and let's all be honest, we don't want to see that. Trust me, anyone that's played League of Legends know, once they hit that 200 years of experience, it's over. But let's get back on track. Let's talk about the new Valorant agent. How do I explain Deadlock? Well, first off, Deadlock and Gecko are essentially two sides of the same coin, seeing that if Gecko is Ash Ketchem, then Deadlock is a SWAT team bursting into a house with no warrant at all. Gecko's more catch and release, and Deadlock is more catch and kill.
You have no power here.
Seeing that all of Deadlock's abilities have something with her catching someone. Most of Deadlock's abilities are all passive when it comes down to catching your prey, and you have to really be creative with how you get them. Let's start off with Deadlock's worst ability, Gravnet. I think we all can agree that Gravnet isn't even an inconvenient ability, seeing that in higher ranks, many Deadlock players probably don't even know how to aim below the forehead. And in lower ranks, they actually have to peek you to get the kill. So if you stay calm, collected, and you actually aim, you will win the duel 100% of the time if you're the person affected by the Gravnet. No, come on. Now, yes, we all can understand that this is supposed to be paired with another damaging ability like, you know, the Sova arrow or a raise grenade. But first off, you got to get a Sova or a raise in your game. And then on top of that, you have to have them have the least amount of ego, which is already hard if you have either one of those characters or any other character in general in the game with you. Gravnet, in my opinion, is one of the most team-reliant abilities in the game, seeing that you really can't make a play off of it yourself unless the other person is just garbage at the game. You're probably going to be using Gravnet to slow down one or two enemies as your team over-rotates and the other team takes the site that they just got off of. Really, the only time that this ability actually just is null and void is if you're a jet and you just dash through it. That's the only time this thing actually just doesn't work. Now that we're done talking about one of the worst grenades in Valorant, let's move on to Deadlock's third best ability, Sonic Sensor. It's actually pretty useful and pretty good ability, just as long as the other team doesn't realize that their shift and or crouch key actually works and actually does something in the game. But past the jokes, Sonic Sensor is actually a pretty decent ability, seeing that it's essentially a breach stun that affects a pretty large area. This is a really good thing to slow down the enemy team. If they're actually running and rushing into sites more often, then you should just hide these things in random spots every round, so they always have to look and like search for them instead of just running past them. I think the best way to use this ability is to set them up on two different sites, seeing that you don't have to be in range of either one of them to use them. And plus, you can hold down a site pretty much on your own with your other ability, Barrier Mesh, because if the Sonic Sensor is just butter, then the Barrier Mesh is the bread, and if you put two of these things on one site, you basically got it locked down. The Barrier Mesh has a ton of health. Deadlock may be Norwegian, but her Barrier Mesh had to have been made in America because this thing is built for tough.
You ever beat off in a Carhartt sock in a Waffle House parking lot? That's what it's like to drive a Ford F-350.
Barrier deployed.
Only in the orbs at the bottom because you can shoot through the top of it. But it stops people from running in like a sage wall. Not too many people know how to play around the Barrier Mesh that well, seeing that it only has 1200 health, which is one full Vandal mag from one person. But if the whole team's shooting at it, then it just melts instantly. This thing does the job it was designed to do. You shoot through it and you stop the enemy team from running through it. It does exactly what it needs to do. Now, it's time for, in my opinion, the best ability that Deadlock has. Annihilation. Oh, do I love this ability. So Deadlock equips an oversized bracelet that has nothing but nanowires in it that captures one enemy and drags it towards her and kills them instantly. But, and this is a fat one, this is a BBL, but it takes 10 seconds. Doesn't matter where they are, doesn't matter how far they are, doesn't matter if they're right up next to you, doesn't matter if they're all the way halfway across the map. It always takes 10 seconds for them to die.
I have them now.
Stage. And within that 10 seconds, the enemy team can shoot the 600 HP nanowire barrier mesh cocoon thing, what is this, around them to free them. Which in most cases is useless, alright? There's no real reason to even try to free your teammates in. You might as well spend that 600 damage on the enemy team. Because by the time you free your teammates from Deadlock's annihilation, they're already out in the open and someone is looking at them. And trust me, everyone is eyeing them up. The only thing that could help out a teammate is a sage wall, but even then, as soon as it gets over the sage wall, yeah, it's over, boys. You just trapped your own teammate. Which is why sometimes I call Deadlock a trap lord, because she's the only agent that can somehow trick the enemy team into trapping their own teammate on the other side of a sage wall. But if I actually had to give Deadlock a score, I would probably give her a 3.5 out of 5. She's not the worst agent, she's definitely not the best agent, and if you can make it work, she can work really well. She can hold down sites by herself. But that's just my humble opinion. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think about Deadlock in Valorant? And also, if you guys want to hear about the top game on Steam being Roblox somehow, click this video right here.